Hello everyone, this is Grey Merchant of Magic. Today I'm excited to talk about one of my favorite characters in all of Magic, Karn. Karn is many things. An ace and non-binary icon, a modern powerhouse, an overused meme about being a modern powerhouse, but above all else, Karn is sad. And he has understandable reasons to be. Within the Magic storyline, Karn's struggles include, but are not limited to, being created and cast aside by a notorious terrible person URZA, being bullied by Teferi, canonically having straight-up chronic depression, the installation of an artificial memory cap, being tricked into killing an innocent person, temporarily turning into an inanimate statue and being used as a display piece, capture and torture at the hands of Greven, the loss of multiple friends over the years, the endangerment and ultimately ruination of his plane of Argentum, and the corruption of his mind and body by the new Phyrexians. And beyond all the in-text reasons for Karn Sadness, most of the early Magic artists just could not draw him well. As we'll see later on in the video, they've done Karn so dirty by repeatedly drawing him to resemble various reptiles, nuts, and any manner of other objects and creatures that are not golems. Plus, they really just could not decide on how many fingers to give him. This all comes together to create an overall downcast aura around the character. Now, I've spent many an hour pondering the chronicles of this pitiful individual, and I finally feel ready to share my findings to the world. But I do this not to mock Karn, no, but to celebrate him. For are a person's triumphs not all the more impressive the more they have faced in order to get there? Let us go forth and honor the golem, the mythic, the legendary Karn. Before we begin, a few notes. Firstly, I'm only going to be looking at cards that directly feature Karn in their art. That means no statues of Karn, or drawings of Karn, or abstract representations of memories of Karn. I'm also not going to cover cards that quote or refer to Karn in their flavor text but don't otherwise show him. In part because there are a large number of cards where Karn just tells a fairy tale, and that's not particularly relevant to what we're doing right now. However, if a card with Karn on it has relevant flavor text, I will include it in the discussion. Also, I'll briefly post a few especially sad Karn related flavor texts here as a sort of honorable mention section. Wow, that's sad. With all that exciting rule setting out of the way, let's begin our discussion of every Karn card and see how they fit into the sadness ranking. Karn Liberated is Karn at his best. The card represents him at his strongest, both physically and mentally. He has broken free of his captors and is now ready to throw down. Karn, the Great Creator, is another card with Karn in a gonna punch someone who deserves it position. He is a bit less not sad by virtue of not having overcome anything to be there though. I know that some might argue that it's just the same as the original version, but I would say that it's a more fragile version and is thus a sadder version. Hence why I would say that the stained glass version of Karn, the Great Creator, deserves a lower and sadder spot on the ranking. Karn's Bastion shows Karn another moment of triumph, although he's so small and far away that we can't say with absolute certainty that he's not frowning in his art. Change of Heart shows Karn in a moment of victory, having convinced the Sliver Queen to return the legacies, artifacts of great importance to defeating the Phyrexians. Karn's 10-pack is also especially refined here. Karn is looking pretty buff in SKYSHAPER, but also slightly like a gray but otherwise normal human man. And can I just say, what a terrible artifact. How did this make the cut to get into the legacy weapon? Arcane Laboratory shows Karn in a position of authority, doing good work as a teacher. It gains a few sadness points for making Karn look like a two-dimensional ghost, though. Masterpiece Karn, Sign of URZA, looks like Karn has just enjoyed a really big Thanksgiving dinner. As its flavor text points out, Weight of Memory is awkward as opposed to sad, and Karn hugging his friends is pretty sweet. I also enjoy how Karn is doing his best to channel that one emoji. You know, that one. Yeah, that's it. Good stuff. The alternate Japanese version of Karn, the Great Creator, doesn't look sad exactly, but it does look like he's about to explode, or maybe throw up. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. Treasure Trove is supposed to show Karn as loving and relieved, but it looks more like a mastiff whose face has been stretched over an elongated walnut. Hey everyone, the news about this card's artist came out after I'd already recorded and edited most of this video. Had I known about it at the time, I definitely would have put this card low on the list due to the discomfort that seeing the artist's name now understandably causes. A lot of people, myself included. I know that this insert will lead to an awkward transition, but I thought that this topic is definitely worth discussing and including, and the video would suffer if it did not feature this. So thank you for listening, and now back to the rest of the video. I think Karn's Temporal Sundering depicts the creation of Dominaria's dangerous time rifts, which is a bit sad, but Karn is just kind of chilling, so it's not particularly sad in regards to him. Karn is in the background of SIDAR KONDO's Vanguard card, looking more bemused than anything else. Baby Gerard is also a cute inclusion. It's a shame that Karn looks like a cement statue of a Ninja Turtle. The subject of Karn's touch is cute, but the artwork fails it by making Karn look like an alien head oozing out of a tube of toothpaste. Also, conspiracy theory time. After the events referenced in the Xanthic statue, Karn's for revenge on all living birds, Karn's touch shows him on his quest to replace them all with artificial copies. Who knows how deep this goes? I have never played on Magic Online, so I don't know if this is an actual card or not, but it looks like one, so I'm going to include it. MTGO Avatar Karn is too thick, and his shoulder pads look like they're melting. Karn is barely in MOG conscripts, but it features his silhouette, so the card's included. It's a bit sad by Garth calling Karn a statue in the flavor text. That's just a low blow. URZA'S tower has a cute mini Karn, but any Karn card with URZA in it is inherently sad. Legacy Weapon looks like a very awkward family photo. Also, it was drawn by a bigot, and Karn looks especially gummy in it. Torture Chamber is a depiction of a sad event within Karn's life, but the art is surprisingly unsad. At worst, Karn looks brooding. I could see this on the cover of a gritty novel where a guy thinks really hard about the nature of war or something. I'll be honest, I have absolutely no idea what the art of FLUX is supposed to represent. Scryfall Tagger says that Karn is in it though, so here it is. I'm putting it solidly in the middle of this list, because I can't really accurately say if Karn's sad or not in it if I can't actually see him. Karn looks more frustrated than sad in SIFT, but the flavor text does have him dwelling on his past failures, so I will include it here. Mid-level sad. Vanguard Karn is actually smiling, despite the fact that he looks like an elderly turtle in his art. The flavor text is pretty sad though, defining him by his mistakes and not by his successes. Karn looks not so much sad in Jaded response and more slightly offended. Also, something about his hand is not right. Brand depicts URZA affirming his mastership, if not his ownership, over Karn, a fully sentient being, and it makes it look like Karn has a really prominent nipple. I'm going to put Corrupted Conscious and PRAETOR'S Council together, since they depict the same event and the art is stylistically very similar. The cards represent one of the lowest points in Karn's life. However, Karn himself doesn't look particularly sad in them, as it's unclear how aware of outside events he even is at this point. Distant Memories shows Karn under the control of the new Phyrexians, but still grappling with his dark memories of Venser, who sacrificed himself for Karn, and URZA, who is URZA. It's a prime example of how Karn's sadness just adds up over time. Ancient Animus is a sad card due to its depiction of Mortani, who has lost their memories and is raging in vain against Karn, their former friend, a tragedy all around. Sign of URZA initially seems unsad, but it has dark undertones. The card's name references Karn's abusive creator, URZA, and we literally see a representation of URZA bearing down on Karn. Unfortunately, it seems like Karn is just continuing the cycle of thoughtless creation of advanced life with his -2 ability. You just hate to see it. In BRAWL, Karn looks real awkward, and I get it. We've all been there, where your idiot friend is about to start something and you just don't want to be there. Still sad though. Also, he kind of looks like he was photoshopped in. As the flavor text of Pacifism states, Karn is in a state of deep moral quandary, so profound that he is unwilling even to defend himself, and he doesn't really have feet for some reason. In Miscalculation, Karn is messed up so much that he has inadvertently transformed 2 separate people's hair into the Nickelodeon logo, and what is going on with his head? He looks like a stretched out catfish. Karn has never looked more like a sickly bulldog than an energy flux. Look at that 1,000-yard stare. That's the steely gaze of a golem who has seen too much. Karn, Silver Golem, stands in a defensive position. He has been hurt too much in the past, and his body language just conveys complete mistrust. Karn looks so sad in Blessed Reversal. He's a deflated Muppet with a terrible side profile. Look how sad Karn is in IMPS Taunt. He's chained up, he's being taunted, and he's doing the Home Alone face. Tragic. Karn looks like a shriveled ventriloquist dummy in Invulnerability. Additionally, the card depicts one of Karn's lowest points when he was tortured by being forced to endlessly crush goblins to death, like a big silver rolling pin in a wind turbine, just going back and forth forever. Very sad, and kind of hilarious, but mostly sad. Propaganda is just incredibly sad. Karn looks like a morose gorilla at a terrible 1950s zoo, and the devastating verbal beatdown that VRZA is giving him in the flavor text only adds to the sadness. This is truly the saddest Karn card in all aspects. Yep, Karn sure is a sad one. But you know what? We all love him for it. Karn is over 1,000 years old, but through a millennia plus of bad guys, bad friends, bad dads, and bad thoughts, Karn still fights on. Silver don't dent, baby. And beyond his admirable perseverance, Karn adapts, he learns, he seeks help, he changes his mind when he needs to. We should all be a little more like Karn sometimes. If you ever need someone to talk to, that someone is out there. I've linked some resources below for anyone feeling like they are channeling the Silver Golem. Remember, it will get better. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please like and subscribe to support future channel content. Let me know your favorite Karn moment or new resources that you think I should add to the video description below.